I'm Claudia Catania, and you're listening to Playing on Air. You are about to hear Scraps and Things by Melis Aker, a multi-talented writer, actor, and musician. Originally commissioned and produced by the Atlantic Theatre Company's Middle Eastern MixFest, Scraps and Things is directed by Atlantic's artistic director, Neil Pepe, and features Melis alongside the legendary Kane. You'll also hear music by Istanbul Trio and by the playwright herself. And now, Scraps and Things. It's late at night in a laundromat in Istanbul. Sibel, a Turkish woman in her 60s, sits, waiting for her dryer load to finish, listening to the radio.
Good Lord, shut up all that wailing. There we go. Good evening to ya.
What?
Just said howdy.
Oh, howdy.
That's a nice dress.
Thanks.
Nice color, blue. Been reading that book for over a month. Reckon you're a slow reader, but hey, you know, that is a tiny book, girlie.
Excuse me?
Now look, I'm no stalker, but...
But?
I just been seeing you here, I suppose. Almost every day, in fact. And I would know, see, because I work across the street, right there with the big windows. Textiles. Sitting on that chair reading that same old book and putting that blue dress up in the washer every day.
Sorry, but this is none of your business, frankly.
Ooh, right.
Right, so, if you'll excuse me.
Look, I'm no stalker.
Yes, you've said that already.
But frankly, you walk into a public space in Istanbul, you make small talk with every jackass until you call him your second cousin, and they probably are your second cousin, but that's neither here nor there. It's a small block. But hey, you're in luck, 'cause I'm no jackass.
That's great. Are you done?
Machine says 10 minutes left. You know, I woke up this morning and wore my husband's clothes. 2 months ago, morning after the coup, or whatever that was, they show up at our door. They say, "You, sir, you are accused of attempting to assassinate the president of the Turkish Republic." He laughs. He says, "I did that?" "Oh, yes," they say. "Well, you tried." "Really?" he says. Wow. You know, he was kind of impressed with himself, my husband. And then he says, "All right, then, can one of you fine gentlemen spare me a cigarette?" And then, the men, well, they had guns, naturally, but the tiny one with the mustache hands him a cigarette, lights him up even, and then he asks me, "Hey, lady, are you Turkish?" 'Cause, my hair was dyed blonde those days, and I decided to quote that actress, what's her name? And so I say, "Well, officer, I am Turkish, but it's not my fault." Anyway, so, yeah. Rest is just blah, 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 I suppose.
And then? Well, what happened to your husband? I mean...
Oh, well, they searched the house, cleared him, cleared us. Died of a heart attack the next day.
Oh.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Yep.
So you...
Wore his clothes this morning.
Uh-huh.
Just wanted to feel what it was like, to have him on,
Yeah.
Yeah. Then I spilled tea on myself, so here I am. Kept thinking, Why would you want to wash him off, you know? But in another life, let me tell you, he'd be up there telling me, Sibal Jim, you really gonna leave my best shirt drowning in tea stains like a Kojikari babushka? Hey, so I guess I'm doing him a favor, keeping it all clean, you know?
Sure.
Got my great-grandmother's turban in there, too. I guess that's not the first time she'll be getting a brainwash.
That's not very...
You lie, it's a joke. Chestnut?
Oh, sure. Thanks.
Here, let me. They're not as ripe as they used to be, like some of us. There. Hey, you got small hands. If I had a daughter, she'd have small hands too. And a big mouth, like her mother. I'm Sibel, by the way.
Cemre.
Gemma. You like picnics, Gemma?
Well,
Chestnuts are my picnic food.
I used to, I guess.
Oh, yeah?
My mom and I would, yeah. A long time ago around, well, the park's gone now. They built some shopping mall over it or something. Actually, she'd always pack dates and this bundle of evil eyes. So we'd go to the same tree every year and we'd hang them up and we'd make a wish and I'd wish for, well, it doesn't matter. But I always thought it was just better than what they did for Christmas in Europe and America or whatever, because it was like having everyone's thoughts and secrets all in the same place, you know? Just without effort. Not for decoration or showing off or just like hanging right next to each other all tacky and tangled up. Didn't have to mean anything, just felt simple, I guess, once upon a time.
Huh.
I used to get nervous at first with the evil eyes. I just felt like I was being watched or something, like my insides were being seen, like naked, and my mom, she used to squeeze my temples and tell me to close my eyes, count to 10, and when I'd reopen them, they were just blue glass.
Blue glass. My husband and I, we used to... Anyway. Oh, there's this game I know. It's called I'm Gonna Go on a Picnic. You ever heard of it?
I don't think I have, no?
That game show had it. You know, what's it called? The only one allowed on network these days. Anyway, so, here it goes. You start with a sentence. I'm going on a picnic and I'm bringing. And then you list your items. And then the next person has to say what you're bringing in your load, plus what they're bringing in theirs, and so on and so forth, until it's one long string of, scraps and things. It's good for the memory. It's therapeutic.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you want to play?
Not really.
Suit yourself. Blue glass. Blue's your color, you know.
What?
Blue. That suits you. Say, why do you keep washing that blue dress anyway? You wear it every day or something? I mean, look, I make dresses for a living right across the street. You short of dresses, I can make you a nice dress.
That won't be necessary, thank you.
It's not a business offer, I swear. It just seems like you're wasting your money on that blue dress every time. I'm trying to save you money. That's all I'm trying to do.
I appreciate the gesture, but...
Looks pretty clean to me.
Well, it's not. It's not clean.
Ooh. Okay. Is it even any good, this power and myth book?
Just my line of study.
Are you kidding? Like my husband. So what is it about myths?
Well, I guess I'm interested in who makes them.
Who makes myths?
Right. Like, who gets to be the maker of myths and meaning and truth, and who is made to question it all, you know?
Question what?
Well, the truth. You don't get it.
No. I do. I do get it.
Uh-huh. I guess I would like to know if myths can be debunked, you know?
Come on.
Can I ever
come
get to do
on.
that one day?
Yeah, run, you son of a gun!
On like a larger level? Because I mean, hey, this
jeez.
place keeps
Okay,
telling itself a
okay,
bunch of
that's
stories
right.
and myths too.
That's right.
Like, what are we really? You know, like, what do we ought to be as a nation state? Like, what is our body politic or whatever the hell? God, I am so sick of. Are you even listening?
Oh! Suck on that, Markovich! My back.
Jesus Christ. You've got to be kidding me.
What? Markovich is a jerk.
This is a laundromat.
Sure it is.
I don't know about you, but I don't like my clothes smelling like a chimney's ass.
Chimney's ass, that's good.
I'm sorry, I get a serious reaction, okay? I'm very particular about smoke. Can you please just put it out?
Hey, just calm down, girlie. Jesus,
girlie?
you're all worked up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Hey!
I'm sorry, but this is a laundromat.
Who the hell do you think you are? Just
Oh, and yeah, 'cause
reaching
you own the
over to
place,
my
huh? This
mouth
is
and-
public
and
property.
No respect for your elders, child. Yeah, I don't know what country you think you're living in, young lady, but we got customs here. And as long
yes,
as I'm alive,
customs.
inshallah, so are my customs. And you better fold up your attitude and get a grip on some of that language, you understand?
Oh, Christ.
It was something I said.
I gotta get the hell out of this country, man.
Hey, after you. Go ahead. Let me fold in peace. No respect. No. My back.
Are you okay?
It's just. It's
You
fine.
just sit.
I'm fine.
Okay, just let me help you. You rest for a second. I can fold your things. What is... Whose shirt is this?
You recognize it? The symbol? On the pocket, right above his initials, it's a wolf deer creature. Hey, if it's your line of study, maybe you'd know. Gokkurt, the wolf deer god of the hunt. His favorite. I made it myself, actually. I stitched it right on for him. He was a historian, you see. Wrote a book all about him, pre-Turkic origin myths and whatnot. Figured he could rewrite history because, why not? Be a king of myths. Nobody can touch or debunk, as you say. Had his way with words. You can only imagine why we were picked on by the authorities. Now look at this shirt. Just cigarette smoke and a bunch of tea stains. He used to wear it to...
Book conventions?
So, you know him? It's not like he was famous or anything.
You're his... wife?
You one of his students or something? Hey, are you... What, are you okay? You need water or... Okay. Now, you gotta talk to me here, girlie.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey!
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hey, what's going on? What are you doing shoving that poor dress on
Can
on
you
the
stop
ground like
staring
that?
at me? Just
I'm just trying to understand what...
shirt.
Have you lost your mind? Give me that shirt!
Don't touch me.
Oh, dear, you're just fling. Do you have any idea how long it took me to choose to wash that? His clothes, his sheets, all of it?
I have
to
to
get
hear
rid
myself
of his
breathe.
scent
Please stop.
when
I
that's
can't
all
get rid of his
that's
scent.
left?
I can't get rid of his scent.
Excuse me?
On Mondays, he drinks whiskey, then he smokes. On Tuesdays, he writes, then he smokes. On Wednesdays, he listens to Ashik Veysel, then he smokes. On Thursdays, he just smokes. On Fridays, he smokes, then he goes out late.
But how do you know? I mean, that's his...
He goes out late on a Friday in Karaköy. And he orders you raki, because that's a wise man's drink, a man of knowledge. But you don't have any drinks, because you're already wise beyond your years. But that doesn't matter, because blue's your color, he says. And he nods during office hours when you speak of things he may not know about. And then after hours, you drink and drink, because you think it makes him nod and nod and nod. And that's how they make their myths, see? When you're not really there anymore and they can write themselves all over you and call it a day. Little things. Little tiny things. I can't get him off. I can't.
No. This is not how this works. This is a laundromat. We have soap and water. That's all we have. Soap and water. We are cleaning, damn it. This is not the time
I
and
can't breathe.
place. Whoa. Oh, hey.
My temples, can you please press on it?
Like this?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this is good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, listen. Yeah, are you listening?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing chestnuts. Okay. Your turn. Hey, breathe. Hey.
I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing chestnuts and dates.
Good. Good. Okay. I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing chestnuts and dates. Soap.
I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing chestnuts and dates and soap and my mom.
I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing chestnuts and dates and soap and your mom.
Blue glass?
Blue glass. Okay. I'm going on a picnic, and I'm bringing chestnuts and dates and soap and your mom and blue glass.
You've just heard Scraps and Things by Melis Aker. It was directed by Neil Pepe and featured Melis Aker as Jemre and Carol Kane as Sibal. Neil Pepe, director. You are the artistic director of an illustrious off-Broadway theater in New York City, the Atlantic Theater Company. Can you describe the type of work Atlantic is drawn to?
Yeah. I mean, I guess we've always been drawn to what we perceive are sort of great stories that speak to the times in which we live. And, you know, those great stories tend to be written for the theater, meaning they have language for the theater, and that somehow the way in which they're put together seems specific to live theater. What's sort of exciting about doing this is we actually started early on doing radio plays. And so it's always interesting doing plays that kind of work on the radio, because it's a very pure form of storytelling. But yes, that's usually what we gravitate towards, new plays and plays that we think speak the truth. Yeah.
The Atlantic Theater Company originally presented Scraps and Things as part of a short play festival featuring plays about the Middle East. Correct me if I'm wrong. Neil, Melis, what was the genesis of that, and did anything surprise you from the concept of it to finish?
It was great for us, and I'll let you speak to the experience, but we started doing these things called MixFest, basically to open our doors to artists and writers, you know, from all over the world that we felt like we weren't hearing from. And so one of them was specifically Latinx, one of them was specifically Asian, and then we did one called Middle Eastern MixFest, and that was what this came out of, which was great. But you can talk about your experience. Yeah.
Well, what I felt so liberated in that process was because the commissions were being offered to artists of Middle Eastern descent, but it didn't restrict us in the sort of subject matter, which I really loved, because oftentimes I think what ends up happening is, oh, we want to support the Middle Eastern artist, but we want you to write about Middle Easternness or something that's happening there. And for me, this kind of freedom to just be like, oh, we're just supporting the artist who is Middle Eastern, and the content could be whatever that is personal.
That's right.
Felt really liberating, and I thank you for that, because it's nice to feel. I didn't know I was a Middle Eastern artist until I came to America, so it feels really liberating to just get to dwell, you know.
Melis, in your story, Sibal says, so what is it about myths? Was the subject of myth one of the kernels that jump-started this play?
I love myths, and I used to read myths of pre-Turkic origins and sort of from all over the world, and I think especially today, when I unpack what that means, in a world of alternative facts, it feels important to question who gets to make myths as sort of these solidified things that we all get to point as reference. And I use the word implicated, but be sort of, judged by these solid facts. And really the question I want to ask is, how solid are they? Because I think depending on who makes them, we're in trouble. Yeah.
Carol, last time you were in the studio, you played a hedgehog.
And if I do say so myself.
And brilliantly, if I do say so myself. Incidentally, folks out there, the play's on our website and podcast, and it's called Hedgehog Years. It's great. Carol, you've recently played a zombie, a Nazi hunter, and today, in very little time, this flamboyant, unapologetic Turkish woman. What went through your mind when you first read Melis's script? Do you generally prepare in your head what you think you'll do, or do you trust in instincts and see where that takes you?
I don't prepare in my head what I'll do, because I do like to just be as, cliche in the moment as I can and just react. For instance, I don't know what the person I'm reading with is going to give me. And then there were some parts I didn't understand about it, which I was fortunate enough to be able to ask the Middle Eastern artist about, and she was very helpful. So I just try and familiarize myself and then stay open.
Melis, you draw the character of Sibal as loudmouth and energetic and talkative. Is there anyone in your life who inspired this characterization?
Oh, absolutely. Grandma, if you're listening to this, this is a moment for you, Grandma. Yes, it's certainly based on my grandmother, who I'm always in awe of, despite the generation that she grew up in. The fact that she could sort of speak her mind wherever she is it's miraculous
So
to me.
brave.
Very, very brave, and very also. It's actually like she throws away thoughts like it doesn't matter, like it's dirty laundry, she's unapologetic. That's definitely the word.
Amazing.
So she's always on my mind. My friends always say there's that one character that comes out. It's like that snarky woman. Like, who is this?
Is that your mother's mother?
My
or your
mother's
father's?
mother.
Is
Yes.
your mother anything like that?
Yes, my mother can be. I think my mother, has the sort of sense of courtesy that that she can use in times. I think my grandmother's very courteous. I don't mean to say she's not, but she's just more like yalla.
Yalla.
Can you tell us a little about your Turkish background? Did your grandmother live with you? And how does that impact or not impact the kinds of stories you like to tell?
I lived in very close proximity to my grandmother growing up, so we used to be there almost every weekend. So it really was a very communal childhood. And I think coming here after that and feeling a little more isolated in not only just the world of the career, but also in the world of New York City, I think I'm discovering that my reason for writing is I get to visit home and I get to sort of drop in, whether that's through memory or imagination, to a world that I need to recreate somehow and bridge the gaps. And I think that's been my driving point. And what I find interesting is just things that I can remember and things that I'm confused by.
Late in the play, when Sibal and Cemre realize that they're haunted by the same man, do you think Sibal is totally shocked, or that she'd always had some whisper of unspoken suspicions about her husband, this king of myth?
Well, we talked a little bit about it. It was interesting because when she says the thing, she's sort of saying, no, this is a laundromat at the end. And he gets very kind of regimented. It says a lot about, whether she recognizes something or not. There's and it's sort of up to the audience to figure out. And I think you wanted it to be slightly ambiguous, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Clearly something's out of control in my life all of a sudden. I mean, several things are, because I spilled the stuff and I have to wash my husband off. And then this reaction that this beautiful young woman is having. Something's
wrong.
Something's wrong. Something's out of my control, which is why I start to control it. But then I think I recognize that we both need some help, whatever it is about.
Yeah, and they seem to comfort each other, weirdly, through the game.
Cemre says, I used to get nervous at first with the evil eyes. It just felt like I was being watched or something. Do any of you ever have that same feeling in terms of your artistry? As a playwright or director or an actor, that feeling of being exposed?
Yeah. I mean, I think, isn't that what we do?
Yeah,
I mean, I guess it's a question of how you do it, but isn't part of what we do is bring the truth of ourselves to the material?
I feel like if I can connect with exposing myself, however frightening or whatever it is, then I have done my job, rather than, I don't expose. I mean, you couldn't do what we do if you don't expose yourself.
But the good news, at least for me, was you were given somebody else's words. So in other words, it wasn't like all of a sudden it's me telling you my deepest, darkest secrets. It's somebody else's words that you get to plug your deepest, darkest secrets into. So nobody, and then you can go home. You know what I mean? So it's sort of, that's the fun of, and sometimes you get paid to do it. It's pretty fun.
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Right. Melis, you're wearing a lot of hats in this recording. I mean, you're the playwright, you're the actor, you're the guest composer. I mean, as an actor, do you find it easier or harder to perform your words as opposed to someone else's?
Speaking of being exposed, it's certainly a new experience because I've acted as a separate sort of thing. Music, separate sort of thing. And then writing has been like my way of finding some agency. And doing it both, I'm still processing it, but it's interesting because I try not to judge my words. And I mean, I found that to be the process, at least today. Just don't judge what I'm saying. Just sort of what, Carol, you said, drop into this moment and respond to what is happening. And try not to think like, oh my God.
I think you did it beautifully.
Oh, thank you.
You did.
It's an honor to hear that coming from you.
I third the motion. Well, this has been illuminating and fun. And I want to thank you, Neil Pepe, director, Melis Aker, playwright and actor, playing Jemre, and Carol Kane, who played Sibel. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been listening to Playing on Air, Great American Short Plays with Great American Actors. Associate producer, Michelle O'Brien. Literary manager, Bonnie Antosh. Literary assistant, Aditya Pratama. Marketing and communications manager, Shelley Horwitz. Theme music, Tom Kochan. Play music by Istanbul Trio and by Melis Aker. Recording and sound design, John Kilgore. Audio editing, Catherine Della Rosa. Playing on Air is distributed by PRX, Public Radio Exchange. For Playing on Air, I'm your host, Claudia Catania. Thanks for listening.